music therapists call this reminiscent music therapy is the technique there. That can actually shift mood in itself. It's actually a technique used for geriatric population, especially with like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's dementia. It can bring them back to that time period. I've seen full affect changes, and it just blows my mind.
We're so excited to welcome Adam to the Modern Therapy Podcast. Adam is a licensed professional counselor on our team who specializes in music therapy, integrating sound, rhythm, and creative expression into the therapeutic process. His work goes beyond traditional talk therapy, helping clients connect with their emotions, regulate their nervous system, and process experiences in a more experiential and engaging way. Today, we're diving into how music can support mental health, from managing stress and overwhelming emotions to building insight, resilience, and stronger sense of self, and why music therapy can be such a powerful tool for people who struggle to put what they're feeling into words. Let's dive in.
Today, we are so excited to welcome Adam to the podcast. He's a modern therapist.
Yep.
Say a modern therapy therapist.
Yes.
Modern therapist.
Modern therapist. And we're so pumped to have you here today. Adam is not only an exceptional therapist, but he also specializes in music therapy. So we're going to learn all about that today.
You got it.
Yeah, and Adam's in a band too.
Woo!
So I think to just jump, it's going to be an awesome conversation. Music is relevant to everything. We'd love to hear about, your background, a little bit about how you got into music, the band, and then also how you got into doing therapy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all an interesting story. I guess to back things up here, I grew up in a family of musicians. I would have been the third generation music teacher, but I broke that chain.
Well, in music therapy, we'll tie it
it's
together.
close.
You worked it in, right?
I went to school with a bunch of music educators. I actually did funny thing. I did teach. I taught just private lessons. I didn't teach in a school. I just taught private lessons, like electric bass, upright bass as well. I grew up in a family of musicians. Played music my whole life. Something, and I guess kind of bringing this back here. I don't mean to get real deep real quick, but something that led me into the music therapy realm. When I was in seventh grade, my science teacher in school, he actually passed away suddenly.
Aww.
He donated an organ to a family sister, and he died in that process. So that was really heartbreaking to have that experience. He was like a really well respected and loved teacher. So what happened was after that, this was a big loss for me and one of my best friends and my brother. And we actually wound up writing a song. And we had no idea what we were doing, why we were doing this, but we wrote this song. And, fast forward, I'm in high school and now trying to figure out what I want to do, and decided to go down the performance route, music performance. And I was going to be I was a double bass major. Sorry, I'm dropping the mic here.
No, the air guitar is welcome.
Double bass major, which is the upright bass, stand-up bass, whatever you want to call it. When I was going to go to be a performance major, I actually had a friend who was a music therapist, and she said, Adam, and am I allowed to say a bad word on here? No.
How bad?
How bad?
The A word.
Okay.
Sure.
This is a direct quote from her. She said, Adam, don't be a dumbass. Do something to help people.
I love that.
And I was like, okay. So she was a music therapist, and I wound up going to the same school she did. Still was a performer, still played in orchestral music, set the semi-pro level. But I became a music therapist in that process, and my bachelor's degrees in music, leading into working in inpatient psych after that, which made me go back to school.
We're so excited to welcome Adam to the Modern Therapy Podcast. Adam is a licensed professional counselor on our team who specializes in music therapy, integrating sound, rhythm, and creative expression into the therapeutic process. His work goes beyond traditional talk therapy, helping clients connect with their emotions, regulate their nervous system, and process experiences in a more experiential and engaging way. Today, we're diving into how music can support mental health, from managing stress and overwhelming emotions to building insight, resilience, and stronger sense of self, and why music therapy can be such a powerful tool for people who struggle to put what they're feeling into words. Let's dive in. Well, that's so cool that you can merge those two worlds and do something that you're passionate about in music and also passionate about in therapy. Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned that in your story about your teacher, you wrote a song. Was that the first song you ever wrote, or were you a songwriter at that time?
That's a good question. I don't remember writing anything prior to that.
Yeah.
Maybe like instrumental, but not like lyric wise. That was the first time we dove into lyrics. So yeah, grief, and that's something I've become passionate about. Like working in this field is working in grief. I think music can be really powerful for the grieving process, actually.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, what is music therapy and how does it differ and also merge with traditional talk therapy?
So I'm going to give you a direct, so there's AMTA, which is the American Music Therapy Association. This is a really debated thing because there's sound healing, music healing, and then there's music therapy, which is board certified, evidence based there. So I'm actually gonna read you this exact definition. Music therapy is the clinical and evidence based use of music interventions to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship. So, whereas like words are the tool in talk therapy, think music as the tool for music therapy. Same thing for art therapy, same thing for dance movement therapy. Those are the tools when it comes to that. So we still talk in music therapy, just not as much as talk therapy.
Yeah.
So music therapists are not only in the mental health field. Fun fact, were you all aware of that?
No.
Yeah, so it's not just mental health. They're additionally, in school to become music therapists, we're taught 3 different populations. There's didactic music therapy, which is working with children with special needs, adults with special needs, that population. There's medical music therapy, which is that can be assisted living facilities, geriatric, but that also bridges into like neurological music therapy, which is really fascinating stuff that I really loved in my undergrad, but it fell away from because I dove into the mental health aspect. Just a little example of neurological, it could be a case of rehabilitation center, like somebody is trying to learn how to walk again. Music therapist might take a drum and we walk to the pace,
Wow.
because that's in a different part of the brain there. Then it's like kind of like reconnecting neural pathways.
Yeah, right. Like your body reacts to the beat,
I
to
wouldn't
help
even
stimulate
think about
movement.
that. Yeah.
I was super fascinated with that kind of stuff in my undergrad, and in fact, I remembered a very pivotal moment where after my undergrad, there was like, all right, I can go to Hershey Hospital and because my dad lives out in Central PA. I could do Hershey Hospital, do medical music therapy, or I could do New Jersey and do inpatient psych. And I did inpatient psych.
And it led you here.
And it led me here.
Yeah.
Because if I went the other way, I do not know where I'd be right now.
Of course. Yeah. It's a whole different life path if you
Yeah.
went that way.
Yeah.
So tell us what happens in a music therapy session.
Music therapy session. So in this looks different depending on the population. So in inpatient psych, it's a lot of it is group based. It can be individual, but it's a lot group based. It can be playing instruments. It could be listening to certain songs, maybe the lyrics, processing them, pulling them to like themes of mental health. Could be supporting parts of like CBT, DBT, anything along those lines that we see in songs. What else? Like I was telling you about when it comes to how I use music, there's something called compositional music therapy, which is songwriting. It's like think like narrative therapy, but like maybe like music standpoint to music to narrative therapy. But so you have the words, you have the composition, but you also have the ability to do what you want with the instrumental, which, major versus minor. You're going to get like, sad, intense versus happy, something maybe uplifting. Little things like that are really crucial.
So sound, rhythm, melody all kind of play into emotions.
Yes. So rhythm is an interesting one, and kind of going back to what we were talking about with the composition, and I'll get more into detail with the different methods of music therapy. There's something called improvisation improvisational music therapy, which that's a real focus there on rhythm. Now, rhythm, what that does is that interacts with what's called neural entrainment. Neural entrainment is the process where brain waves and body functions align with the external rhythm, like my example of walking to the beat.
Right.
Now, where this applies in mental health is we can use that to decrease heart rate. We can use that to focus on breathing, combine them with somatic work and somatic skills. Or honestly, because this can be used in the exact opposite, and I'll give you an example here, is going to a concert, high energy. You're feeling that good energy, that heart rate is increasing in a good way.
Yeah.
So vice versa.
Yeah.
There.
Right.
Now, melody is this is where we connect to emotions and memory in particular. So there's a dopamine release when it comes to melody. How you feel good when you hear a song, or how you get the goosebumps going. Do you guys both get goosebumps from songs?
Yes.
From
Yeah,
music?
certain songs. Yeah.
I didn't know this till a couple years ago. Fun fact: not everybody does.
Really?
Yeah, I always thought. I think I just always took that for granted.
I feel like some people get more emotional with songs too. Like sometimes I will like cry listening to a song, and you'll just look at me and be like, "What are you
Well,
doing?"
I think like engagement has a big part to play in that, because like
Like,
a
if
lot
you're
of
singing
times when
along,
that
you mean?
happens, like I'm not even really like
You're not
tuned
listening.
into it.
I'll
I'm
be
not,
like sitting there tearing up, and I'm like, "That lyric just
You're
got to
listening
me,"
to
and
it.
he's
Yeah.
like, "What did the lyrics say?"
Yeah, I'm like not listening. So right.
Yeah, it's powerful. I mean, like, you get goosebumps with certain songs. You get emotion. It's something called emotional recall, or like music therapists call this reminiscent music therapy is the technique there. And you that can actually shift mood in itself. Like, fun thing we'll do now. What's a song maybe in like your late teens or early 20s that you think back to, that maybe takes you back to that time? What's a song or artist?
Anything Mariah Carey,
Mariah Carey?
always.
Yeah. When you think about Mariah Carey and maybe kind of like hum some of the lyrics in your head, like what goes on in your body? How do you feel?
Happy, always happy. And what's funny is I always think about that time period too. Every single time I'm listening to a song from that era, I always think about that time period. Yeah,
It just brings you back to that.
it does.
This is actually a technique used for geriatric population, especially with like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, dementia. It can bring them back to that time period.
Wow.
And maybe I've seen full affect changes, and it just blows my mind.
That's
or
so
even
powerful.
How like with Alzheimer's and dementia, that's a psychosis kind of involved with that.
Yeah.
Bringing back to reality, them singing the song and present.
Grounding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
What
very
song
cool.
or artist came to your mind?
I don't know, like a lot of the '90s music.
Yeah.
Like just good vibes. Like I don't know.
I always think of Baha Men for You. That was his first concert.
Yeah,
Who let the dogs out?
that's a classic. Right?
Yeah.
And the party was nice. The party was pumping.
But you're right. See, even him just singing those lyrics, like, makes me want to, like, laugh and get up and dance. Like, it really does. It shifts the entire mood.
Yep.
Can certain songs be tied to trauma?
Oh yeah. So that's the thing about reminiscent music. It's a double-edged sword. And that's something that I always am very adamant with clients about, not to scare you, but this is a double-edged sword. This can bring us back to traumatic experiences just as equally as it can bring us back to beautiful experiences and beautiful memories.
Yeah.
Is that ever part of therapy, bringing them back to that trauma? Because it's like with EMDR, right? Like, let's kind of experience some of that so we could work through it. Or do you not do that as much in music therapy?
I'm sure there's some people out there that would do that. I wouldn't personally, because I see what you mean. Like, now the thing is, like with EMDR, with like the shifting back and forth and like crossing the midline thing. My question with that is like how can we do that with the music?
Right. Like just when you said, I'm like, is there a value in bringing them back to that?
Using it as a tool to help the process.
But it's amazing that you tell them that, because you don't want that to be a surprise. We're here. Okay, let's deal with it. That would have to be obviously very planned out. But Yeah, it is so interesting, and people probably don't even realize when they're listening to music that like you might be be brought back to a time period or like a feeling or a mood, and they might not even realize that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a whole aspect to music that like music is really powerful. It's a feeder of the mind, right? Like, and like what you listen to regularly, like, the mind's kind of like a gateway, through
Yeah.
music. So, like you were saying, depending on the melody, the rhythms, like it's gonna impact your mood. I guess there's a reason like sometimes you're sad and you want a sad song versus like you can use a happy song or an upbeat song to bring you out, draw you out of a bad mood. So it can be a really powerful tool to help change your moods.
Yeah.
What types of things do you do to like help clients in that way?
That's actually one of my favorite ways to use, especially mental health.
Yeah.
So there's a music therapy technique called the ISO principle. And what the ISO principle is, it's actually meeting, or validating your mood with song choice. Lyrically, instrumentally, or a combination of the both. There are people who I've encountered in the past. It's like, this song meets me exactly where I'm at right now, and it's jolly happy, but the lyrics are depressing. It's whatever's meeting you where you're at. So there's no right or wrong way to go about that.
So that's why people do that. Why they want to listen to certain songs in certain moods.
Yep. So that's a validation purposes, ISO principle. So 9 out of 10 times I share this with somebody, they're like, oh, I do this.
Yeah. Of course.
So now you have a name for it. Now you can have intent
Yeah.
with how you use music. Now, something that I've created and kind of, I haven't seen anybody else do this yet, but something that I've created is something called the ISO Principle playlist, where it's actually a structured way to create a playlist to validate said mood and shift it to where you want to be.
I
Through
love that.
music.
That's amazing.
That's
yeah.
beautiful, because I was going to actually ask, how much is the balance of validating how you're feeling versus maybe is it time to pull myself out of this mood too?
Yeah, and that's something to be aware of there, of like how much is too much of just like sitting here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think that's varies per person. That's really hard. That's like a very subjective thing.
Yeah, it's so personal.
Because some people need that. Some people need to sit with that emotion to be, I guess, like motivated or driven to shift.
Right.
And that's where, when I create this playlist, I actually make it 5 songs for people. When I show them how to create this playlist, 5 songs. Now, for some people, it might be 3. That's it. Other people, it might be 20. Everybody's different.
What's the reasoning for the 5 songs?
Just so I can teach them how to create it. So how it works is you you create the playlist inside. You go inward with a playlist.
Okay.
So you have your first song, your 5th song, and then you do your 3rd song, and then you do your 2nd, and then you do your 4th.
Yeah, no, that kind of makes
weird.
sense
Yeah.
though, because I guess you would want the first song and the 5th song first because you're taking them on a journey through the playlist, right? So you want to know where your destination is.
You got it.
And then the middle song would be like almost like
Transition.
the midway point, right? Like
Yeah.
of when does the transition happen and what does that look like?
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. And that's where you can go away with 3,
Yeah.
because that middle song.
Right.
Now, the reason I teach them 5, first off, because of time. Second off, because I'm doing this in group therapy 9 out of 10 times. So it teaches them how to do that 3rd and 4th. The 3rd and 4th confuse people. It's like, what do I do here? How do you get from 1 to 3?
Yeah.
How do you get from 3 to 5?
And that I love the playlist idea, because we talk about this a lot, having a toolbox. So if you are in a certain mood, here's my go-to. I don't really have to think about it. And even if I don't really want to get out of that mood right now, I know I probably should. Let me go to that playlist, right? I know this is kind of what I need to do, and I don't have to put a lot of thought into it.
So I'm curious, like for that technique, right? Like, would you have people lean on songs that they already know and make them feel a certain way, or are we exploring new genres or new artists?
I tend to have people do focus on songs that they already know and can bring to the table. Like I always use Anger to Calm. That's my example. So what song meets anger for you? that you know? What's really that anger? And what song is calm for you that you already know? I have had some people sometimes who are like, let's say they hear a song in a group, like, I'm going to use that song. I remember that one. Maybe that's the circumstance where they'd use something they don't know, but usually it's what we already know.
Yeah,
Interesting.
you kinda know your go-to.
So anger to calm is one. What are some other transitions you want to take people through in a therapy sense?
That's up to the client, whatever
Yeah.
they'd like. Some common ones is depressed to uplifted. What else? Anxious to grounded. Anger, like I said, anger to calm. Wherever you're at. I've heard some pretty interesting ones where I've been like, huh. But
It's because it's so particular to what people are experiencing in that moment. It's like, you need to tell me what you're experiencing and what you need to get out of. But I love having that groundwork for people.
yeah, 100%. And like you said, with tools, this I always encourage. If you have Spotify, if you have Apple Music, if you have YouTube Music, go in and create this playlist.
Yeah.
Title it what you
I love
just
that.
created.
Yeah.
And that you have it
I'm
right
going to do
here.
that.
Bam.
I'm
Yeah.
making my playlist now.
Whenever you need it.
Yeah, I think that's so great. And I've worked with a lot of teens, and something that I've seen come up a lot for them are using music, like in their TikToks and their social media. A lot of teens express themselves that way.
Yep.
And that's something that sometimes it's okay, that was a trending audio. It's, it's really not that deep. But something I used to do with teens that were having a hard time open up, because I would say, can you show me the last 3 TikToks that you made? And they're always like, oh my gosh, of course, I'm happy to show you that. And it's so interesting because I remember having a teen one time. She's like, everything's fine. Like, nothing's wrong. They had a great week. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, we have nothing to do. Let's go through your TikTok. And she just had like a TikTok of her running a bath with like the most depressing music. And I was like, why did you chose to post this morning? Well, because this morning I woke up and like this song means XYZ to me. And I'm like, wow, it's amazing how just like picking up on a song or something, a way that she was expressing herself, how suddenly she can just, it's like an open book. I can tell you all these things, but when you just say, hey, what's wrong? It's, well, nothing, everything's fine.
Yep.
And I think teens really, I think they can be a lot more in tune with that because they really do express themselves through music a lot.
100%. It's just an alternate way of expressing yourself.
Yeah.
Like sometimes a song speaks 1,000 words that we cannot either figure out or have the willpower means to express in that moment, which is so powerful. Honestly, I don't mean to be getting on a soapbox here. It puzzles me as to why arts weren't considered or thought of to bridge into the mental health field sooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does.
I think as adults, it's so easy to just stray away from that and to not focus on expressing yourself in creative ways. I think that we could be so obsessed with just like, like doing things a certain way. Like, that's for kids. It's not for adults. But it's like, why not be creative and express yourself as adults?
Yeah.
Because it's all there for all of us.
Yeah.
Right. And it's true because listening to music, right, like it impacts us, on our mental health, but also like there is something very cathartic about writing songs and like, composition and that type of thing. So, I probably would venture to guess that like not many people have like written a song or like.
Are you going to share your secret?
No. I dabble with songwriting a little bit.
Yes, I love it.
I don't think you've ever admitted that on the podcast.
Well,
Wow.
It's just
Now you know.
Everyone
know.
knows now. Sorry, I put you on the spot.
I will not be performing anything, but so like I like songwriting. I think it's it's cathartic and I think it's a great vehicle. And you mentioned that you use some of that in your work. So like are you incorporating kind of those techniques with people who have never written songs before, or is this something more of like that people are more like musically inclined?
So either or.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, love it when somebody's a songwriter or a poet or has the skills built already. We can get real in depth. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you have to come in knowing that. I can guide that. I can structure that in a way that's like attainable for anybody to create.
What ways, like what techniques or what ways do you help make it attainable for people who have never like tried to write a song before?
Structured songwriting, very structured songwriting, and that can be as basic as fill in the blanks. And I used to do that a lot. When
Mad Libs, right?
I actually, so I got a really powerful intervention. I'll share this one with you. Not people are going to steal it from me, but that's cool. Gravity by John Mayer.
Okay.
I'd highly encourage checking that song out.
Yeah, I don't think I know that one.
Gravity, like about the weight, pretty much a weight of the world coming against him. So he talks about gravity throughout the whole song, how it's working against him. So if you take gravity out, that word, out of the whole song, you can pop in and personalize all of your own.
That's a great tip. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
I feel like I obviously know the song Gravity by John Mayer. I'm like
no, I don't know it.
no, you definitely know it.
Do I?
Yeah.
You
for
probably
sure.
do.
You definitely
Do I?
You probably heard
okay.
it.
Yeah.
We'll have to
I'm like
listen
having
to it on the
trouble
way
like
home.
picturing like what it sounds like, but I know I've heard it before. You know?
It's a good tune. And I'd encourage when you listen to it, just listen to Gravity, how you could just pop in anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Depression is working against me.
Yeah.
Anxiety wants to bring me down. This is some of the lyrics.
Yeah.
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 That's so powerful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great tip. Because I feel like, maybe somebody can get on board with the idea that writing a song could be an emotional release, but then like they're like, how? Like I've never written a song.
Yeah.
How do I do that? You
Oh
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so that's about as structured as it gets. That's like extremely structured.
Yeah.
Great for inpatient. Something I did in inpatient too was and this was a little bit unstructured for inpatient, but blues songwriting. You used to take a blues progression. I give him the first line. I used to give him, I woke up this morning. That's it. That's all. I woke up this morning.
Wow, you can fill that in with anything.
You all have to come up with the rest.
Right.
You're like, what do you mean, Adam? Like, no. You're coming up with the rest. It's not me.
Right, you're gonna write like a Grammy-winning song one day with a client.
You never know.
Seriously, they come from like think about like Adele, like the biggest like emotional songs you can think of. Like they're powerful for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
actually, on that topic, how do you balance? There's so many people who are into music and the arts, and they can be very perfectionistic, right? Like, I'm only going to write a song if it's an amazing song. I'm not just going to do it for fun. Like, how do you bridge that gap between doing it for therapeutic reasons, but also having people who are like very perfectionistic about it?
Yeah, good question. So that I noticed that in musicians. I noticed that in artists. I noticed that in anybody that has some sort of creative outlet that needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to speak from personal Adam here for a second. I'm a performer too. I tour. I play in a band. What society views a live show as, that has to be perfect. You can't mess up. You're not allowed to mess up. No messing up. And what happens is, and I myself will tell you this from personal experience, that starts to bleed into your personal life.
I'm sure.
Where you're like, I can't mess up on anything. And that's like hard to shut off. So separating how we use music or arts or whatever it may be as performing versus how we use it personally for ourselves, therapeutically, how we can use music. So it's really about separating them.
Yeah.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
I have my most recent example. I had a guy that I worked with previously, and he was an artist. And he had not practiced any art in years because of this.
Yeah.
So a lot of conversation is about, how do you use art? What does art look like to you? Exploring that. And then exploring like a new intent. How can you use art for yourself?
That probably changed so much for him when he first started being expressive again. You probably like unlocked this whole other side of him again.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's that's something that stuck with him. I've since wrapped up with him a couple weeks ago, but he, parting ways with him, he was like, this is something that was life changing, and I'm going to continue this
I love that.
into my next therapist.
I think a lot of people have that experience where they do something that's beneficial to them, and then for whatever reason, like their life changes or something happens, and then like that piece of them goes dormant. And so I think that's a really powerful concept of
Yeah.
unlocking the dormant, right?
Yeah. And I think, it's kind of going back to the perfectionist part, like it's kind of a message that we're given when we're young too, right? I'm sure you could think about, kids or teens who are in bands and they do it because it's fun and they enjoy it. Like I can speak from personal experience. I was in band when I was younger, not a professional band. I played clarinet, but I loved it and it was fun. I had, friends, and I was in marching bands in middle school, and I loved it. And as soon as I was pushed to like practice more and make it like my mom got me private lessons, which in hindsight I'm like, wow, that was so amazing of her. She spent all this money to like harness this skill that I had, but I was like mad about it at the time. Like I was like, I don't want to do this in that setting. Like I want to do it with my friends. I want to do it for fun. I want to do music I like. And I feel like part of that almost made me like not want to do it anymore.
Yep.
Where I'm like, wow, duh, like I should have just continued because that was a great opportunity. But I was like, I don't want it's not fun anymore. So like, how do you balance that with kids and teens of like, let's harness this because this is a good skill that you have versus not pushing it on them too much. But also you don't want them to lose the skill completely. I mean, if I never practice, I'm not gonna be able to play, right?
Yeah. As you say that, like that is actually territory I've never dove into, is how children and teenagers with that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And I'm just trying to think of how I would approach that of maybe like just spitballing here, if like, what do you enjoy about music? How can you do this for you?
Yeah.
And what's present here that you don't want to do? What's to maybe turn you away? Exploring that.
Yeah.
Seeing how we can find like happiness and joy, like what draws you to this. That's interesting. I've never encountered that.
Because I think that could be like kind of that bridge of like why more adults don't do it, because you could, so many people like, oh yeah, like I was like forced to practice when I was younger and now like I don't do it anymore, because it is not always seen as a fun creative expression. Like sometimes it's a performance, right?
Well,
like, you have to do it this way.
I'm pretty sure like it's required in like middle schools and stuff, right?
I think at least in elementary school it is. I don't know if you have to continue after
Because what's
that,
funny is that like I would say almost everybody has played some sort of instrument at some point.
The recorder.
Hot
cross
cross
Where you
buns.
at?
Yep.
But
But that's so structured, right? Even learning, it was at like 4th and 5th grade, learning an instrument because you have to with your class. But that was a really structured environment. You see less of like, well, I just pick up a guitar and dabble at home, right?
Yeah, I know. I was always the type of kid, I played snare drum in middle school.
Nice.
And, I was not a very disciplined student. And like you would try to fake it till you make it, in the class. But then at a certain point, you can't really fake it with an instrument.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's why you need some
you don't know what you're
balance,
doing.
right?
Yeah.
Because if parents are like, oh, don't worry about it, you never have to practice.
Yeah.
Well, like you're not going to be very good at it, and you're also not going to have those opportunities. So yeah, it's just interesting to think about where that balance is.
Get a couple little fake, fake drum rolls there.
I actually got an acoustic guitar a couple years ago because I was determined I was going to teach myself how to play guitar. It's very difficult, as you know.
It's become a piece of art.
I did not get very far. It's beautiful on the wall.
I like it on the wall, yeah. All right.
Actually, going back to my mom, she did for Christmas get me guitar lessons, which I'm going to do, and I'm excited for. But anyway, we're in the middle of a move, and we go to take the guitar off the wall, and my toddler goes, Mom, you've never played or sang on that guitar before. And I was like, okay, don't throw me under the bus, because he's standing there like, told you so. And I'm like, the desire is there. Like, I want to learn to play it, and I want it to be like fun, but then I'm like, wait, this is actually really hard.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You're like learning a language.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough physically too. It's tough on your fingers.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that are like, I noticed, and I'm going to use the word deterrents here, but please don't, they aren't deterrents. But yeah, it's
so because there comes a point where if you're picking up an instrument or you're trying to learn something, there's a point where like it becomes cathartic. Right, like, and you have to get good enough for that to happen, right? So, like, at what point would you say like that shift, that transition happens between like, oh, this is kind of annoying to like learn how to do versus like this is like good for me?
Wow, good question. Yeah.
Well, he's a pro, so he's like, I don't even remember.
Yeah, right. That was so long ago for you, right?
It
Where you
was.
made that shift.
It was, and I'm not trying to be cocky saying that. I genuinely. I want to say somewhere in my undergrad, music school is intense.
Yeah.
It is intense. I will tell you, though, one instrument I never really took to very well was piano. And I'm a strings guy.
Yeah.
Piano, when you're in your undergrad, you have to learn piano. They force you.
Oh wow.
So I still feel like that now. Like how you're describing,
Yeah.
I still feel like that
With
now.
piano. Yeah.
And it's funny because I taught it, but I suck.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard instrument, especially if you're a strings person or if you're a reeds person. Like if that's not your thing, it's ridiculous. So I feel that.
Yeah.
That's my way of saying I feel you.
Yeah. Because I mean, you probably pick up a bass, right? And it's just like that thing. Like it's just second nature. You don't even have to think about it. Like you could probably you can free play. Can you free play, or is that's a totally different? Than reading?
Improv.
Improv, right?
Yep. Electric bass, upright bass, definitely.
Yeah.
Improv that. I could do along
How long does somebody need to practice an instrument? Like for someone listening, if they want to get into music and creative expression, like how many hours have to go in, do you think, for them to get to the point where it becomes a creative outlet and not a job?
Oh, jeez. I would say rule of thumb here is touch the instrument once a day.
Okay.
Touch the instrument once a day.
I'm
no
very
time.
behind.
And it could just be touching it.
That is true. It hasn't been touched in years. So
I look at it.
It's okay. It's art. You use it every day because it's a nice piece.
Yeah.
I'm not boop.
Yeah,
That's it.
Hey,
Okay, just getting familiar
baby steps.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
Just touching
that's
it.
true. Because the first couple times I picked it up, I was like, just holding this is so cumbersome and so awkward. I don't even know how to sit when I'm holding it. So
Yeah.
that's an
I
interesting
have
point.
to tell you though, like when you were, because you did go through like a 3-month period where
I-
you were
I
you were
did
playing
teach
like
myself
multiple
one
times
song.
a week, and like you improved very quickly.
It wasn't good, but I taught myself Maroon 5 Sunday morning. Because it's like, it's like so simple.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say this, and we're talking about music therapeutic sense. I'm gonna have my mom and my grandfather. My grandfather's gonna haunt me if I don't say this. That's where doing lessons and getting proper technique comes into play. Separate from using music as therapy.
Yeah.
But proper lessons and technique make a world of difference.
Right.
That's good to know.
Yeah, because you can self-teach, you can look up YouTube tutorial, that's fine, but nothing's gonna replace a teacher actually going, hey, this technique.
Put
is
your
gonna help
put your
you.
hand this way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's motivating.
Yeah. Kind of foundational too, I would imagine, right? Like
Yep.
it's just like the building blocks of the skill.
Because even if you want to just, strum a little bit, maybe write your own song for those therapeutic purposes, I'm sure having a lesson or two probably makes a world of difference.
Yep, without a doubt.
So it'll be therapeutic soon.
Hey, that's good. I'm on board for it.
The director of the music therapy department when I was at school I went to, she was actually a teacher turned therapist. That's pretty common for music teachers to be music therapists as well.
Yeah.
Use both. And there's something called therapeutic lessons. I've never done it, but that's where somebody's taking lessons, but it's there's a therapeutic element to it. It's how some people will go see lessons instead of seeing a therapist. Go see a therapist though. But that does happen.
Yeah.
Musicians that are I'd rather just take lessons and talk to this person
Right.
because it's not clinical.
Right. So then
Yeah.
they combine it. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It makes me think of this is kind of a little random, but I saw on Instagram there's a new company. I don't remember their name, but it's specifically for men, and they do golf and mental health.
That's cool.
They play golf, and they do they teach you how to play golf better, and then also it's therapy.
It's therapy.
You know? So
That's
it's
cool.
kind of similar
Yeah.
concept,
That's fantastic. And that reminds me of rec therapists, recreation therapists.
Yeah.
I've taken a lot away from working with them.
Yeah.
Playing games, playing Uno,
Yeah.
just playing Jenga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think a lot therapeutically can happen while playing games.
Oh yeah, Uno. I've had many good conversations over Uno because it's almost like when you distract people a little bit.
Guards let
they're-
down.
Yeah, it really works. And I'm curious, in your music therapy sessions, how much of it is client led? Like clients coming to you and saying I want to do this today, or I want to incorporate this, or you leading it and saying, hey, I think this would be really helpful today.
Interesting question. That varies per population. So something like this outpatient, client led. That's client. So that usually, especially virtual, it comes up of me explaining early into working with said client of, hey, if there's ever a song that this is describing what's going on, this is really resonating with you, you can bring that to session. Or if they're like, hey, I'm not feeling like talking too much today, Adam, I want to this song describes how I'm feeling, and then we process from there. 9 out of 10 times they come in with a song, don't want to talk, song plays, then they're talking.
Oh,
so
amazing.
client-led outpatient.
Yeah.
Inpatient, different story. And IOP as well, different story. That's more structured. That's more me.
And in a group setting too, obviously you have to be leading it.
Yep.
How many people come to you because they specifically want music therapy, or versus they just come for talk therapy, you're explaining it, and then they're like, oh, well, that sounds cool, I kind of want to do that?
So my clients would laugh at this. Creative people follow me. They find me some way, shape, or form. I don't know how or why. They just find me. And that's not just musicians. That's artists. That's dancers. Anything creative. They somehow find me. Now, that doesn't mean I can only work with them. No. They just tend to follow me. I get every once in a while somebody in particular that's like, I want to work with a music therapist. I like music therapy. Cool. We'll take it. But I never shove that down anybody's throats at all, especially people who don't know what it is. I'll educate somebody on what it is. Like, hey, I'm an LPC, but I also have this certification as well. I'm a licensed music therapist, but I'm not going to force this on you.
Right.
If you want to explore this, cool. If it's not your thing, that's fine.
Yeah.
I could be a regular therapist too, believe it or not.
Yeah. And that might take people some time to like, okay, thanks for that information. And maybe they'll come back a couple weeks later and be like, oh, you said you're a music therapist. Like, I heard this song, or can we try this? So I love that.
And it'll happen sometimes at random times.
Yeah.
Okay. One of my guys now, he's I worked with him for like 6 months before he brought a song to session. And he just randomly brought a song to session. I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was in there somewhere.
Yeah. You never know.
So cool. So we love to end every interview with the Am I the Problem from Reddit, which is a thread that we love.
Yes.
You want to read it?
Yes, I'll read it. Okay.
We kind of dabbled on this topic a little bit, but we're going to dive deeper into it.
So the title is, Am I the Problem for Telling My Husband to Turn Off His Depressing Music for Once? I sometimes come off meaner than I mean to, my tone a little harsher than I intended. My husband loves some of these new rapper dudes who are depressing. They all sound like breakup, teenager type of stuff. I have nothing against it when it's playing here and there. Cool, no. But every day, for hours on end, like, I want some cheerful stuff or stuff with substance or just something different instead of the same, like, 10 depressing songs. I tried to make it playful when I told him, but he got defensive, and I got a little more mad about it. I straight up told him it's no wonder he's always depressed. That's all he listens to. He got mad because I told him, never mind, I'm just going to listen to something else on my own. Oh, and the thing is, he uses a speaker to blast it, knowing I don't necessarily like the music and never asks if I want to pick the song. The few times I've tried, he straight up said no. So am I the problem for snapping at him?
Could you read me the title one more time?
Am I the problem for telling my husband to turn off his depressing music for once?
So that title alone, just hearing that title alone, maybe. Maybe you are the problem. So I'm breaking that down a little bit. I told you all about ISO principle.
Yep.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's how he's using ISO principle. So it'd be great if she knew the name. We don't live in a perfect world. So that's what's going on. He's validating his mood. He's meeting himself where he's at when it comes to this. Now, the thing about the speaker, I think I want to separate that from this experience. That's a boundary issue.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like an extra thing she threw into there. So now I think when you get into the speaker realm, yeah, he might be a part of the problem there. But on the other realm of like how he's using music, yes, I do think she's the problem. I think it's not about what you say, but how you say it. Like, you don't need to shut that down, but maybe like explore like, why are you using music like this?
Right.
What's going on?
What? Yeah, I would be curious as to like why he's like listening to this type of music. Like, where's that coming from? And then I agree with you on the speaker issue. That's kind of a separate topic. It sounds like there could be a conversation there of like, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's they're already bickering about it, so
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, let me twist
Let
this a little bit."
Twist it a little
So
bit, right?
this has been an in-house debate before because there are times where if I'm in a mood, I do listen to depressing music, and we might be in the car and like I'm always the DJ in the car, and you definitely have before been like, oh my gosh, shut this off, like you're making me depressed, right? And I laugh about it and I'm like, okay, like one more song and then I'll shut it off. But how do you balance that when like there's other people in your home or in your car with you and like you're in a mood, but now you're kind of bringing them down? Like
it's contagious.
it is contagious.
It
So
impacts the whole vibe.
where's the balance of like, okay, you can kind of express yourself, but also there's other people here too.
Yeah, and that's a tough one because it's like how do you, what tools do you have when you're around other people when you're angry? Like how do you sort that out? Do you need some you time? So I would argue the same thing for music.
Yeah.
Is like maybe what's a common ground we could listen to in the car? What's something that's maybe not gonna bring your mood down.
We just need to balance it out. Like I'll listen to like a hype song right after.
No, something in the middle. Something in the middle.
So yeah, that's what I would encourage. Something in the middle there, or maybe even that back and forth. That could be fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something me and my girlfriend do. We'll go one song, other song, back
Yeah,
and forth.
yeah.
Spotify's made that a lot easier because you can just like join the jam now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's
see,
cool, yeah.
it doesn't happen often. Every once in a while.
Now,
Not more than 9 out of 10 times.
most of the
It's fine.
songs in the car are like down by the bay where the watermelons
Yeah,
grow.
we have
Now
daughters.
that's what
We actually
car
we
our,
do,
jam.
our daughter's the DJ.
we do the back and forth with our toddlers. She picks a song, and then we pick a song, and she picks a song, so we do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember this one day we were driving to a family event, and I was just in like such a bad mood for some reason, and you let it go for a while. It was a lot of just like acoustic, like sad, like covers of Evanescence, and he's like, "All right, enough of this. I have my limit. We're going to see people in a few minutes. Like I can't keep doing this."
Yeah. It's like you said, like that energy does kind of rub off on you, but at the same time,
It
you need
does.
to express yourself
Yeah.
and meet yourself where you're at, and if music's
Yeah.
it, music's it.
Yeah.
So I think it's not about what you say, but how you say it though when it comes to this, and especially with like the
Yeah.
boundaries with the speaker.
Yeah. I wonder if validating how he's feeling, like maybe he's trying to express this to her too, not only to himself, like maybe she's not understanding just how he's feeling in general. So I wonder how much of just acknowledging like, hey, I see you're feeling this way. Like, can we talk about it? Or are there other resources? Like maybe you do need someone to talk to, or maybe we need to get you out of the house. Like maybe there's something we can do to kind of lift your mood, but
Yeah.
maybe he doesn't know how to
Well,
express
I mean,
that.
she even admits that like maybe my tone is a little harsher than I intend. So
Yeah.
she clearly is not very
She
tactful.
knows.
She knows like
Listen, she came to Reddit to this thread. She knows she did something wrong.
That's where I think a good old fashioned MI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like teaching her MI. If she was my client.
Yeah.
Just so she can like be present with him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks so
thank
much
you.
for taking the time to share a little bit about your expertise, and just for anybody listening, Adam is accepting clients. He's on our team. So,
Woohoo!
Feel
Come
free
do
to
music therapy.
Come do music therapy. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
But thanks
Yes.
for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.